And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. Now a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu hosted German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier at the State House in Abuja as part of Germany's three-day state visit to Nigeria. President Steinmeier arrived at the court of the State House where President Tinubu and members of the Federal Executive Council received him. His arrival was marked by ceremonial honor, including the rendition of both the German and the Nigerian national anthem. The German leader also inspected a guard of honor mounted by the Brigade of Guards and was saluted with a 21-gun salute. A statement by the German embassy says President Steinmeier's visit aims to deepen Nigerian-Germany relations, while he is expected to meet with the president of the Economic Community of West African State Commission, Dr. Aleo Tare, during his visit. The House of Representatives has passed through second reading a bill seeking to amend the National Eye Center Act 2004 to provide for the establishment of a more specialist eye care center. The proposed legislation was sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Okozie Kalu, Benjamin Benson, and 5 other lawmakers at plenary. Leading the debate on the general principle, Kalu noted that the bill seeks to enhance access to qualitative eye care service across the 6th geopolitical zone of the nation. He noted that the proposed amendments seek to address the pressing need for more specialist eye care centers to cater for the growing population and address the rising cases of eye diseases in the country. Also in the news, the federal government has announced plans to develop a national policy to address bullying in schools. This is part of a broader effort to improving the nation's educational system. Minister of Education Maruf Tunji Alausa stated this during a press briefing in Abuja, saying the Federal Ministry of Education had held its first meeting with the principals of Federal Unity College. The meeting, he said, was an opportunity to engage with the school leaders and discuss key issues in education as it focuses on several key areas, including discipline, governance, and improving the quality of education. The Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE, and the Socio-Economic Ability Project, SYRUP, have raised the alarm over the growing suppression of press freedom and the free expression in Nigeria. This was contained in a joint statement SYRUP's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare and the NGE's General Secretary Dr. Iyebosa Oworiem to mark the International Human Rights Day. They both condemned the use of repressive laws such as Cyber Crimes Act and the National Broadcasting Commission Code to stifle journalists, critics, and the media organization, which according to them undermines democracy and accountability in Nigeria. Operatives from the Katsina State Police have arrested a 25-year-old resident of Damdubus Danja local government area, Aminu Hassan, who is suspected to be a financier of armed bandits operating in Damusa local government and its surrounding areas. The spokesperson of Katsina Police Command, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, disclosed the arrest in a statement, noting that the suspect was arrested with 2 pairs of military uniforms concealed in a black polythene bag during a routine patrol along the Yatumaki and the Kankara Highway on November 19, 2024. Sadiq also revealed that subsequent investigations led to the arrest of 3 additional suspects with 14 pairs of military uniforms and 1 police uniform allegedly intended for delivery to the armed bandits for their criminal operations were recovered by the authorities. Over now to the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured taxpayers in the state that their taxes will not be spent on frivolities, but rather on profitable ventures that would enhance economic growth of the state and well-being of the residents. Sanwo-Olu stated this while commissioning the second phase of the upgraded and rehabilitated network of roads in Etiosa local government area of the state. He said his administration is determined to transform the state and ensure its productivity, noting that since the inception of his administration, the state government have been devoted to rehabilitating, upgrading, in some cases, reconstructing roads across all 5 divisions of the state. The coalition of health sector unions in Lagos State have begun a 3-day warning strike over non-implementation of adjustments to the consolidated health salary structure. Secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Olorun Toba Odumosu, in an interview, insisted that the strike would hold following the expiration of the ultimatum issued by the union, as he complained that the matter hadn't lingered for long. Despite numerous attempts by the union to resolve it amicably, the union include the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Nigeria Union of Allied Health, the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, and the Joint Health Sector Unions. Senate President Godswill Akpabio declared the seat of Senator Monday Okpebholo, representing Edo Central Senatorial District, vacant. This comes as Senator Okpebholo bids farewell to the 10th Senate following his election as governor of Edo State. Akpabio also asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct elections as soon as possible to fill the vacant seat. This move is aimed to ensuring that the people of Edo Central Senatorial District continue to have representation in the Senate. The United States Embassy in Nigeria has announced a new visa application process for immigrants. Visa application effective from January 1st, 2025. The reverse procedure requires applicants with scheduled interviews to visit the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos at least twice during the application process. This was announced via the embassy's official X page, stating that the new process is designed to help applicants prepare for visa interview to prevent significant delays in processing immigrant visa. Information on the embassy's website stated that the first visit will include an in-person document review with a consular officer. A bill seeking to amend the Universal Basic Education Commission Act has passed second reading at the Senate. This proposed amendment, which affects Section 2, 3, 7, 9, 11, and 16 of the Act, aim to enhance early childhood education, regulate the appointment of members of the Commission, and ensure adherence to guidelines by implementing agencies. The bill also proposes an increase in funding from 2 to 5%, as well as the direct channeling of intervention funds for local government areas to their respective education sectors. You are watching News Cycle on Global Television. It's coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Cycle returns, UN General Assembly to vote on unconditional ceasefire in Gaza. Details of this, as well as business and sports stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. On our business desk now, Nigeria has continued to lead in crypto ownership and adoption. A statement signed by the Chief Executive Officer of Constancy, Josephine Lubin, indicated that crypto ownership in Nigeria and India continues to grow significantly, up from last year's high level. The statement maintained that Nigerian respondents have the highest level of trust in internet services who use their data at 98%. The report presents a compelling picture characterized by widespread awareness of crypto and a strong desire for ownership, coupled with confidence in crypto-led future Nigeria. Oil producers and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority have expressed their disagreement over the collection of 0.5% wholesale price levy. While the authority has insisted that oil producers should collect the levy and remit it to the appropriate banks, the producers argued that the regulator should handle the collection directly. The authority's chief executive, Farouk Ahmed, represented by its legal advisor, Josephine Talosurun, explained that the engagement is aimed at addressing issues raised during the first phase of NMDPRA's sensitization program. The Delta State Commissioner for Finance, Fidelis Telaji, has declared the continuous importation of premium motor spirits into Nigeria asserting that the Dangote and Port Harcourt refineries have the capacity to meet the nation's local fuel consumption needs. Talije made this statement while addressing participants at the three-day 8th National Council in Hydrocarbon organized by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Talije also questioned the lingering subsidy system despite the government's declaration of its removal, citing Section 118 of the Petroleum Industry Act, which prohibits PMS importation unless there is insufficient local production. The commissioner also expressed concerns about the Petroleum Industry Act's implementation, stating that it has created more challenges than solutions in the oil industry. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has raised concerns over the persistent cash shortage in the country. The organization, in the statement by its national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Owobiko, described the situation as a clear indication of collapsing economy. The association criticized the inability of depositors to assess their money in cash, labeling it as an act of economic sabotage and evidence of dysfunction within Nigeria's financial system, strongly condemning the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) for what it called provocative incompetence. On the foreign scene now, the United Nations General Assembly is to vote on a draft resolution that seeks an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, in symbolic gesture after the U.S. previously vetoed a similar action in the UN Security Council. In addition to calling for an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire, the draft resolution seeks the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages and accommodation of the United States and other staunch allies of Israel. The resolution, which is non-binding, also demands immediate access to widespread humanitarian and for the citizens of Gaza who have been subjected to more than a year of war with Israel, especially in the besieged north of the territory. The tomb of ousted Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Father Hafiz, was touched in his hometown by Kurdara. A footage taken showed with rebel fighters in fatigues and young men watching it burn. The Syrian Observatory of Human Rights War Monitors said the rebels had set fire to the mausoleum located at the Latakia heartland of Assad's Alawites community. The footage showed parts of the mausoleum ablaze and damaged, with the tomb of Hafiz torched and destroyed. The vast elevated structure atop a hill has an intricate design with several arches, its exterior embellished with ornamentation echoed in stone. French President Emmanuel Macron races to meet a self-imposed 48-hour deadline to name a new prime minister after he hosted party bosses in the bid to hammer out a consensus and avoid a protracted political crisis. Following the ouster of the government of Michel Barnier in a historic non-confidence vote last week, Macron had gathered leaders from across the political spectrum in a bid to form a government in national interest. Macron is under huge pressure to cobble together a broad alliance, form a government that can survive a non-confidence vote and pass a budget for next year in a bid to limit political and economic turmoil. And on sports, World Football ruling body FIFA has formally congratulated Dr. Mohamed Sanusi of his reappointment as General Secretary of Nigerian Football Federation for another term of 3 years. This was contained in a letter signed by FIFA Secretary General Matthias Garstrom. According to the letter, the role is essential to the governance, daily operation and long-term success of FIFA, and the NFF General Secretary's expertise will be instrumental in advancing the Federation's goal in Nigeria and Africa. On its part, the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, in a letter signed by the Secretary General Ikenna Okonkwo, stated that Dr. Sanusi's reappointment is a clear testament of years of dogged passion and commitment in the development of football in Nigeria and beyond. Players and officials of Nigerians under-15 boys Future Eagles depart the country for Morocco, where the team is scheduled to face their Moroccan counterparts in 2 international friendly games. This will be the team's first international experience since the inception of FIFA Talent Development Scheme in the country. Head of delegation Nasiru Jibril said playing Morocco is a deliberate attempt and a pragmatic way of equipping the young talented players discovered in the country through the FIFA Talent Development Scheme. Noting that exposing the players to best facilities and playing internationally will further shape the country's awakening with regards to the impending annual AFCON Under-17 and annual FIFA Under-17 tournaments. The Football Association is expected to support Saudi Arabia's bid to host the 2034 World Cup and a multi-nation hosting of the 2030 World Cup. The FA has not officially declared its position, but reports say the governing body for English football will back both bids at the FIFA Congress, where the tournament host will be officially confirmed. The FA is expected after the Congress explaining its stance. Saudi Arabia is the sole bidder for the 2034 event, while the 2030 World Cup is set to be awarded to unopposed co-host Spain. Morocco and Portugal, with early matches also being played in Hungary, Argentina and Paraguay. And that's it on News Cycle, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.